Here's my definition of enlightenment. Lightening our load of self-imposed limitations. Want to hear that again? Yeah. Enlightenment. Lightening our load of self-imposed limitations. I wrote this song for a birthday of mine that had a big 0 on the end of it. I believe this song becomes even more meaningful the more birthdays we have. I'm proud of having as many birthdays as possible, and I think it's something not to be ashamed of, but to strive to attain. Because having as many birthdays as possible beats the alternative. There's a brave soul inside I'm still longing to be. Daring so deep she's like a bit distant memory. She's sick and tired of waiting, holding her breath. Wants to wake up and shake up the life I've got left. There's someone in my mirror whose voice keeps getting clearer, asking what would I do this year if I had no fear. I invite you to ask yourself that question, and as you hear the words to my songs, pretend that I'm saying the words just for you, as though you were saying them to yourself. So I'm making a list of things I haven't done in life, and my whiny ass excuses for why I never tried. The palomino never ridden, the piano never played, and I realize there's nothing that I can't start today. There's someone in my mirror whose voice keeps getting clearer, asking what would I do this year if I had no fear. No fear here, no fear here, da-da-da-da-da. No fear here, da-da-da-da-da. Would you try that with me? No fear here, da-da-da-da-da. No fear here, da-da-da-da-da. Let me hear ya. No fear here, da-da-da-da-da. No fear here, da-da-da-da-da. Two more. No fear here, da-da-da-da-da. No fear here, da-da-da-da-da. So I'm starting with my A-list: Africa and Asia, Auckland, Antarctica, Alaska, and Australia. Next comes my B-list: be confident, be brave, be daring enough to refuse to behave. There's someone in my mirror whose voice keeps getting clearer, asking what would I do this year if I had no fear. No fear here, with me. Da 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 da. No fear here. Da 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 da. No fear here. Da 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 da. Two more. No fear here. Da 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 da. Last time. No fear here. Da 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 da. Only love. I just want you to be careful if you ever pray for humility, because if you pray for humility, sometimes God answers your prayer in front of a lot of people. And you might be looking for that piece of tape. And you can't find that piece of tape anywhere because it's stuck on your sleeve. Oh, well, you know what? I am a recovering perfectionist. Yes, yes. So now where will we put it? How about that? Yes, there we go. For so many years, I suffered from something that lots of people here and outside these walls have suffered from. A feeling of too much not enoughness. Yeah, too much not enoughness. Maybe it's because I watched too much television when I was a kid, and we see all these commercials that say you need to have this, you need to have that. I don't know what it is, but many of us do grow up thinking, oh, I've got to have more. I think that's why they invented credit cards, so we could get more. But you know what? That keeps us locked in that feeling of too much not enoughness. It's a limiting belief. And the older I get, the more I want to let go of those limiting beliefs that stop all of us. Here's my definition of enlightenment. Lightening our load of self-imposed limitations. Want to hear that again? Yeah. Enlightenment. Lightening our load of self-imposed limitations. I like those two words, self-imposed. Lightening our load of self-imposed limitations. There was one time in particular where my self-imposed limitations were keeping me from having the life that I knew I was born for. When I was a little kid, I used to go to sleep with a letter from my uncle taped to the dresser next to my bed because my uncle was in the war in Vietnam. And so night and morning, I could read his letter and I could pray that he would come home. At the same time that I had an uncle in the war, there was a distant cousin I never even met in my family, Judy Jackson, and she was in the Peace Corps. Even as a kid, I thought, oh, I would love to be in the Peace Corps. I would love to do something good with my life. But you know what happens? You grow up and you think, oh, wait, I forgot to be in the Peace Corps. I forgot to become a fireman. I forgot to go to the moon. But now you're busy doing all these other things and you have credit cards. And now you're suffering from too much not enoughness. Oh, I could never do those things now. I always wanted to travel and I thought, well, I'll do that when I get ahead. And then I thought, well, I'll do that when I catch up. By age 40, I realized that might never happen. That's like people who say, we're going to start a family as soon as we can afford it. First of all, who can afford that? And yet, when there are things that are meant to be in our lives, I believe we just need to move forward. As my friend Harold Payne often tells me, Jana, take a moment, take a breath, take a step. My first step in the right direction was to book a trip to Southeast Asia. Now, I want you to imagine with me that you're on your first day in Southeast Asia. You go to the money changer. You've taken out $100 from your pocket, and you want to get local money. When they give you the local money, I want you to put your hand out like this and imagine it with me. You're getting 80,000, 90,000, 100,000, 200,000, 300,000, 800,000, 900,000, 1 million. Put your thumb up really high, because if you're going to try to fold that 1 million bucks in local currency, it's going to be hard. But you're going to have to fold it and put it in the pocket of your khaki clam diggers. As you put that money in your pocket, you can't help but think about all the times you said to yourself, well, if I were a millionaire, if I were a millionaire, I could tithe. That would be easy. If I were a millionaire, I'd give a lot away. If I were a millionaire, I could do volunteer work. If I were a millionaire, I could make a difference in the world and never have to worry about paying my bills. Well, you could say, Jana, you weren't really a millionaire. Which is the illusion? You still can do it. Absolutely. Which is the illusion? That we're not rich beyond measure, or that we are. For that week, I imagined that I am rich beyond a measure. And at the end of the trip, I knew what I needed to do. It may seem like a silly thing, and it often does when we hear a calling. We think, oh, that's not big enough to change the world. And yet, we all hear callings that we have to follow. We must do the thing that we can't not do. By the end of the week, I knew that I wanted to create a trip for all of my friends and everyone I could convince to come with me that I knew would not be what they expected. They would think they were coming on a mission trip to Southeast Asia, to work with women and children, to do good. But what I was luring everyone away for on this thing I created called a volunteer trip was a reverse mission trip. A trip that would change them more than they changed anyone. My hope is that it would help people see that we can be everyday philanthropists, just as we are. We can see ourselves as rich beyond measure. Turns out none of my friends have ever gone on one of those trips. But I've taken hundreds of people to Cambodia, where we're going in a month, to Vietnam, to Bali, to Singapore, to Malaysia, to Thailand, and soon Myanmar. And those hundreds of people are now my friends. I warn people before they go with me, the life you change may be your own. What would you do if you knew that you could not fail? If you believed, would the wind always fill up your sail? What if we're all meant to do what we secretly dream? What would you ask if you knew you could have anything? Like the mighty oak sleeps in the heart of a seed, are there miracles in you and me? If you've ever had a child, you know there are miracles in you and me. If I were brave, I'd walk the razor's edge, where true believers dare to tread, and I'd never lose faith, even when losing my way. What step would I take today if I were brave? If you sing this with me, these words will be like sticky tape on your jackets, and you will not forget them. Would you sing with me? What would I do today if I were brave? 4 times like this. What would I do today if I were brave? What would I do today if I were brave? What would I do today if I were brave? What would I do today if I were brave? If I refuse to listen to the voice of fear, with the voice of courage whisper in my